What is up, everybody? It is me, Duke Farley, back at it again here on Lost at Sea. And tonight, the Descendants are back for episode 9. The jury has began, Scott, and I'm so excited to talk about it with you. But how have you been this week, man? What's been going on?
I've been good. I went to my Survivor watch party last week. I ran out of contacts, so I can't see anything.
Oh, geez.
I ripped my hand doing bar muscle ups at the gym today. I forgot to wear my watch to count my steps for our work step competition. So a lot of ups and downs. It's been a roller coaster of a week.
Have you found your watch?
I just didn't put it on. It was charging.
Oh,
I forgot to wear it.
damn, damn.
So
So, did you just lose
steps
out
will
on
never
those
get back.
steps?
Pardon?
Yeah. You just lose out on those steps for the competition?
Yeah, and we did a bunch of like double unders, like jump rope. So it's like so many that I lost. So I'll be thinking about that when I go to bed tonight.
Yeah.
I'm sure he
It's
will be now too.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry to hear that. I don't track my steps, but I try to get 10,000 every day. And I think everybody that's watching should try to do that.
hmm It's really not that hard if you remember to wear your watch.
Yeah, yeah. No, seriously. Guys, wear your Fitbits, wear your watch, and track your steps 10K a day. Let's make a goal.
10K day
2026 is
and
it's coming up.
what is it?
The new year.
New Year. Let's do our New Year's resolutions before the new year gets here though. So get ahead of the curve and also maybe drink a gallon of water a day.
Gallon of water a day, hit your protein goals. But listen, that's not what we're here to talk about, Scott. We're here to talk about
You're
episode
right. You're
9
right.
of
I could
Ascendance,
go on. I
bro.
could go on about this all day, but let's focus in.
Oh, yeah, we'll do a different podcast one sometime. But
Yeah, the 2 hour
Scott,
podcast is our sister podcast.
yeah, yeah, yeah. They talk about all the protein goals over there. So, Scott, I was watching this episode tonight, and you know what I was thinking to myself?
it's it's really heating up.
This was my favorite episode of the season so far,
Me
Scott.
too. It
Yeah.
was people just were really leaning in. They saw an opportunity. It's like the lane was open. They took it. They fucking went for it. And I think that just the teams were formulated perfectly for big moves to be made. So I
Uh,
think that is
yeah, I don't want to jump the gun, but I kind of just want to jump the gun and go right into it and say, what a great episode for Jack here, I thought. I
Jack.
think this was the most sound we've seen Jack and the best strategic round we've seen of Jack thus far.
And I think that we kind of mentioned that coming back with the buyback, we knew that he was going to be coming at guns a blazing, and winning immunity. He was like, you know what, it's now or never. Like he saw an opportunity. He had the right collection of people. I feel like, almost mended a bridge a little bit with Monty. I just feel like he had an incredible round this round, and because of the collection of people, I don't think that he's pulling this off if he's going after Maddie with the Reynolds, Lee, and Antoinette on the other side of it. So the teams were just formulated perfect for him to take the opportunity, and he did.
Yeah, it was so fun because I remember a couple episodes ago we were talking about the connection of Sam and Jack and how they were, talking about maybe the move with the Antoinette, Sam throwing Antoinette, and we were joking like, kind of wrong process, but it ended up being good for them. I was reminiscing about that when I saw them this episode in the room together, kind of stewing up this plan to, backdoor or blindside Derek.
hmm Yeah, it's in the movie Emperor's New Groove. We were comparing them, that we were making the comparison to. They end up, being the real heroes of the movie. So it makes sense that in the end, it finally pulled through for them.
Yeah, I think right process, right timing, and it ended up coming up good for them.
Yeah,
I thought this was good. Um,
yeah, finally a win for the underdog.
yeah, we're at episode 9. We were waiting for one. Um, Scott, you mentioned Jack winning immunity. This was an interesting kind of format for this round, this double elimination. We see Sam is able to win the initial captain's challenge
Mhm.
with the Rubik's Cube and remembering the colors. how do you think you would have done this?
I was playing along. I made it, I think, to the last round. There was like, I was in there. I didn't win. I wouldn't have won. Sam bested me for sure. But I stuck around for a bit. I made it a few rounds in. At one point, I feel like it was just like increasing by one. And
Yeah.
so like I was like ready for like the four. And then I was ready for five. And then the one round it was just like 17. And I was like, you got me. Like I thought it was gonna be over and it just kept going. And I was like, yeah, that one's gonna do me in. But I thought it was interesting him winning. Well, then he was very confident
Yeah, he said he
about
could
us
go another
playing.
3 rounds. I
Yeah,
was like, wow.
he was very sure that he was going to win that. Oh my god, my friend's walking his dog. But
So
anyway, like, I'm all over the place this episode. But I think that he went into the selection with a plan. Like he knew what he was going to try to make some maneuvers. So whenever I saw them like pick the first two and then he had to give it up, I was like, this is like play like Sam needs specific Sam music because I feel like this is such a Sam moment. Like he's like, all right, I can finally make a power move here. The power's in my hand. I'm gonna do this, and then it's like, wah, wah, wah. Like they'll actually know you're just gonna be safe. But I think that this pans out well for him to be able to be in both boats and be safe and maneuver a little bit. But in that very first moment, I was like, oh, this kid can't catch a break.
yeah. Yeah, yeah. So the twist being, he chose two people, and then they were just going to choose their team, so on and so forth. Uh, any of these selections, it's tough to go back, but any of these selections stand out to you, um, you know, from people picking people. I It's really tough to really tell because halfway through the team selections, there's not that many choices to be made anyway. So
Yes, but I think that anytime something like this is happening, it's very poignant or very important to be paying attention of who's picking who because
yeah,
when you're thrown a curveball like this, so many people in the confessionals were even mentioning it that they were like, at this point, like I just need to pick someone that I know is going to vote with me. So Lee picking Reynolds, I think Reynolds picked Antoinette. We kind of know that they're a trio from a previous week. On the opposite side, I can't remember if Monty picked Andrew or if Andrew picked Monty, but they were talking about how they're like ride or dies. So I think it's Derek picked Molly, I'm pretty sure. So people are showing their cards a little bit more because of the immediacy of a smaller team and not getting to really plan. So I think that's just something to note for future Ascendance players. If there is something like this going on where they don't get to plan, people are going to reveal their cards a little bit more than they typically would in other circumstances.
yeah. You mentioned Monty, Andrew and Monty, the connection between those two. I think Andrew picks Monty to round out that team, but I thought this was a strong episode for Monty. We were kind of talking about how Monty, tried to make a big play saving Stevie last round, and it kind of fell
Mhm.
flat on his face a little bit. And then, the backlash we were thinking, is Molly going to be pissed at Monty? Is Molly going to be pissed at Jack here? Because he's like throwing out the rumor of the pendant, and now they're all on the same team.
Yeah,
So it was kind of perfect for the viewer.
for the viewer and specifically other people that voted Derek off, we really had an opportunity to lean in to formulate a team that might not be your typical team. So we now know. I mean, are Sam and Jack working together, or is that just something that I've made up in my head? Like they came together in this episode, but have they previously been in cahoots? I can't remember.
I feel like
In
they happen. I feel like they
okay,
have. You
in my
said
mind,
Sam and
I'm like,
Jack?
huh?
You said Sam and Jack?
Yeah,
In my mind, they're working together.
yeah, same. Okay, I was like, but that I was like actually thinking, I was like, did I just marry them in my head? Like, I'm not sure. But those two coming together, and then also Monty and Andrew coming together, I feel like these are people that the like majority alliance of your Reynolds and Lee, Antoinette and Derek, Molly, like that group is kind of the group that I've been waiting to see break up or get pulled apart. Or in this episode, we really saw that. So those Sam and Jack, as well as Monty and Andrew coming together, we're going into the final nine. So they get
Yeah.
one more person in there, they could be sitting pretty to kind of ride it to the end. And I think that those four specifically have an awareness of that. So I could definitely see them trying to come together and do something on the next vote.
Yeah, it's because I just thought that Monty, his recognition of him kind of being on the hot seat here potentially, and then his plea to Jack, to kind of listen. These people, they voted you out. I wouldn't have voted you out. And he's, kind of putting together Derek, Molly, Antoinette, and Maddie. He's grouping them together and saying, we got to break that up. And it just, like you said, those two kind of duos coming together, it really lined up for a beautiful blindside here.
Mhm. And I think that I don't know for sure if Jack was kind of leaning into the actions are important, not words. And then he's like, your actions have shown me like they haven't shown me much yet. So I think that in that moment being safe, maybe a little bravados. He leaned into a little bit more than he typically would have been able to, but I think that it was really tactful because leaning into that, it makes Monty fight a little bit more. And everyone wants to be desired, and he was desiring his vote. So I think that in doing so, it might have brought them together a little bit more. Because not that he would have played scared if he was available to get voted off, but I don't think that that conversation would have gone the same way if he didn't have the safety.
Yeah, because we've seen, Jack not safe a lot of the time. And
Mhm.
he's a
So
little, he's a bit of a scrambler, you know?
yeah, a little
So,
bit, a lot of it.
um, but you mentioned Monty talking to Jack, and I gotta bring it up, Scott. What did you think of, Monty's acting job here? Would you
I
have bought
mean,
it?
I don't know. Because I'm not as familiar with what the scramble is. I feel like I might not be paying attention as much. It depends on whose side I was on, though, too. So I don't know. Maybe.
It was
I just
interesting.
it really just kind of depend on where you are in the house, whose side you are on. I would like to know that I would have been told that he was pretending to cry. The secret would
I,
have been told to me, right? Hopefully.
I just love him getting other people in the mix, people that aren't even in on his vote. He's telling Lee, come out here, pretend to cry. I'm going home.
It, but in Monty's defense, or not even defense, but if I'm going to anyone in the house, to be like, who's gonna lie for me? It's gonna be Lee. I'm like, hey, want to do something silly, goofy that's like a little mischievous? I'm going to Lee. 'Cause I know he's gonna say yes.
That's his MO.
It's a
That's his MO.
strong read of the social awareness on Monty's part to ask Lee.
Yes.
Poignant.
Um, we have to talk about it. Derek, super confident in this vote. He has a he has a confessional during the voting period where he's completely alone, telling us, "I have this power. I have this safety without power, but I'm not going to use it. I feel confident." And then he's going into his confessional saying, you know, I think it's a lock.
It's the craziest thing is I almost felt like he was convincing himself. Like he convinced himself that he was safe. He talked about he's like this is the perfect round for me to play this. It essentially lets me skip two votes. I think I think he potentially didn't want to leave the vote in protecting Molly as well because the votes there's only 6 votes, right?
Yeah. Yep.
There's only 6 votes. He is confident that he has himself and Molly's vote, and then all he needs is one more. And so I think that having just one more to tie it, I think that that's where he got that confidence. And if he had left, it puts Molly in a little bit more of danger. So I think that he was protecting his alliance probably a bit. And I think that any weirdness that he was feeling, I think in these confessionals where he's like talking himself up, he's trying to speak it into existence that he's safe. Well, you know that whenever you're talking it up in the confessionals like this, the opposite is happening. So yeah, it was like the fall of a king. He like he's been usurped, and that's it. Like the king's been cut.
It's just bizarre to me, Scott, because having played the game and seeing him have the time in the round to, have a live confessional with one of the camera people, in the middle of the round. That in itself would make me nervous. Like if I'm
Yeah.
alone for that period of time, it's like other people are talking and I'm not there.
And that's,
So,
I think that's when he's convincing himself. He's like, I'm so safe that no one even needs to tell me that I'm safe anymore. Oh, that's a bad read. Monty reading good. Derek reading bad. Bad read,
yeah.
bad read.
Um,
Another
brutal.
note to future Ascendance players. If you're alone, you probably shouldn't be.
And it's crazy because I've really enjoyed Derek this season. I thought he played a really strong game. Um, and to have this power, it's just, and it's a 2-for-1 power that you could use. You're skipping 2 votes. Um, it's just the perfect time to play it, I felt like. But he didn't. And, Scott, he lies when Alex asks for it multiple times. That's the thing that's fun.
I completely got the first time. Like, I'm gonna use it on myself. He decides not to in the moment. He can get away with that. But whenever he's like leaving and Alex is like, please, man, please give me the power. And he's like, oh, it's downstairs.
Well, it's actually in my pocket right now.
Yeah, like, I mean, he could have just said no. Like, he didn't
Yeah.
have to lie. He's like, no, I'm gonna keep it. Or he has to give it away publicly, so it's just gone now, right?
Yeah, he took it out with him.
I mean, I guess he just wasn't rooting for Alex. Was he working with Maddie?
That's my theory.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think he was probably protecting Maddie in that vote.
Could you imagine? So the lie's not great. Not very nice to Alex, but could you imagine if he was just like, I'm actually gonna give this to Maddie. Just like handed it right over his head.
Oh my God. So that's the first vote, right? But we still have this second vote that, Alex is eliminated, another 4-2 um elimination. And this one kind of a little bit more cut and dry. Alex kind of hinted at him knowing that his name was on the block. He's asking Derek for the power, obviously. But it's between Alex and Maddie. And this one, I think we could see reasons for either one. Do you think, the ultimate decision to vote out Alex for, the people that were perceptually in power, like Lee, Reynolds, Antoinette, do you think that was the right move to go for Alex rather than Maddie here?
I think that it could have been interesting if this vote was first. Because if I'm seeing Derek go, and that's a surprise to me, I I'm Ali or Reynolds and Antoinette, I am a little bit, there's more trepidation inside of me to allow someone that I potentially can continue working with, like a Maddie, over someone that is a little bit more removed from my game, like Alex. Alex, I don't think that any of those people in the power positions were really working with Alex as closely as they were with Maddie. So seeing Derek go, I just lost a number. I'm not going to take as much of a risk. So if they didn't get to watch who got voted off, we could have seen something different. But I think that prior to that, conversation that had been had already let us know that it was going to be Alex. Because I feel like whenever Lee and Maddie kind of chit chatted, I feel like his mind was changed.
Yeah. What do you think of that conversation? Sam kind of throwing Maddie under the bus to Lee and then Lee immediately,
Going to him,
going to him and asking him about it.
I think that sometimes it's okay just to go up to people and be back
Yeah.
check. So I think Maddie played that really well to get it off of him. If Lee hadn't gone up to Maddie, I could definitely have seen it much more likely that he went. But again, having Derek and Maddie go back to back would have been crazy, just because I feel like
Yeah.
those two were such front runners. But I do think that this puts it into a little bit more perspective of where these lines are drawn. And if I'm Maddie, I might see that a little bit more. I feel like knowing that, well, did he really know how close it was to being him? Potentially. I think that the other four, like the four that are have joined now from the other vote, they got to try to get Maddie. I think Maddie is kind of the person that they can pull in to
Yeah.
vote with them at the next round.
Yeah, it's interesting because Maddie has been such a polarizing, big character up to this point.
Hmm.
And then the argument against Alex was he's a wild card. We don't really
Hmm.
know where he stands, but um, I feel like Alex was an enigma to me this season. We knew that he was team go for, keep the women around. But besides that, it seemed like, you know, we didn't really see much more of a strategic game from Alex.
Yeah, one note that I had taken in whenever we were in these strategy portions, I just feel like he was when he was selling himself, he was almost selling people against him in a way. His pitch was like, I know that I'm kind of like a challenge beast. And it's like, no, don't say it like that. Marketing.
Yeah.
I can win challenge and protect us.
Yeah.
That's the way you say it. I'm kind of a challenge beast. I'm probably gonna win a few challenges. I don't want to keep you now. You're like, are we working together on these challenge wins or like? So I just feel like in the way that he was having these conversations, I wasn't really getting persuaded in like I it didn't sound like he was doing a good job of persuading these people to keep him. I think that
And I
he brought up a lot of good points, but it he wasn't selling me.
and I think the conversation specifically where he's talking outside with Reynolds and Antoinette, you could kind
That's
of
specifically the one that I
you could
was
see
thinking
the
about.
body language was just like I don't no they weren't talking at
Hmm.
all. He was just talking and they were just kind of
A
like
lot of
I think Reynolds at one point was like looking at the brick wall.
yeah,
It was crazy. So I do, yeah, I think you're right in saying that, Scott. Which is kind of brutal. I thought he could have had a good pitch there against Maddie, but
yeah. It
it's not
just
enough.
well, I think Reynolds said in confessional that he wanted Alex gone,
Yeah.
and so that's a tough one. If you don't have Reynolds voting with you, kind of a person that's a staple in this bigger alliance, that's almost entirely on your team. It's going to be a tough. It's an uphill battle.
And, during Alex's exit, he calls Reynolds out. He
He
says,
does.
Reynolds is going to win this game.
Yeah, I've had a few of those in my times playing. I feel like I almost always get called out when people get voted off. And I don't know what I'm doing wrong in these games when that happens, but I fell for Reynolds because it's like, why? Why do you have to call me out? I feel like it actually happened like 4 or 5 times when I played Ascendance. So I fell for Reynolds in that moment. Um, yeah, I don't know. Reynolds has seemed kind of quiet, and I don't think that Alex was necessarily wrong. Like I feel like Reynolds is sitting in a good position, but I feel like that sometimes almost eliminates some of the target because it's like, oh, we all know that he's doing well.
Yeah.
So
You could see at the very end, Reynolds was a little bit uncomfortable with that being
yeah,
said. Sure.
he's like, okay, that's annoying.
Cut the mic. Cut the
Yeah.
mic.
All right, you can
Um,
go.
um,
But
yeah,
sometimes it's a compliment too if he is being true. I feel like people often do that to try to put the target on someone on their way out. But I'm always interested because in other games that I've played where people did that to me and tried to put the target on me, they did not vote for me. Like
yeah,
he's like if he makes it to the end, I'm voting for him. And then because that's been said about me, and then I make it to the end, and, and they did not vote for me. So I'm curious to know because if I'm Reynolds and I believe Alex, it's nice because you're already building the jury. Like that's a guaranteed vote if he's being honest. But do you think he was being honest? I feel like
I
Alex.
tend to think he's not. I think
Me
he's trying
neither.
to put the target on him, and then
And then
it'll
no
be
vote for Reynolds. Yeah.
yeah, it'll be a double edged. Well, terrible for Reynolds there for Alex. I mean, there's nothing really Reynolds can do about that at that point. I mean, it's his exit speech. You can't cut him off, right?
Mhm.
Um,
Maybe just start a fight, one last fight on the way out. Which
yeah,
actually, I can't imagine Reynolds or Alex fighting with each other. They both seem kind of like docile.
yeah, yeah. Um, why do you think Alex called Reynolds out specifically?
I don't know. I really am unsure. Maybe he caught wind that Reynolds was the one that was kind of pushing his name more so than anyone else. So just kind of like a snake bite. You touch the snake, like he's gonna bite back. So that's really the only thing I could think of, unless he's just like because he said about it in his vote too
Yeah,
before he left. He was like Reynolds is winning this game, and he's just like annoyed about it. But beyond that, I don't really know if Alex was specifically trying to protect anyone. I guess maybe that other side. A little hint to Maddie, be like, go with the others.
yeah,
I also think it's interesting because if the back to the first vote, the two groups of two, Sam and Jack, as well as Andrew and Monty, we got two half pendants. So that could be a pendant to like protect them. And so we could see that being used next round if it is like if it is actually 5-4 the way that I'm sort of seeing it. I'm not sure if I'm correct or not, but if they can figure out who they're voting for and take them out or protect that person with the pendant, you could see even more interesting 4-4 from there. So
yeah.
it'll be
Yeah, it's
interesting.
interesting. It's kind of you're kind of mapping out what you think the kind of the lines are. You think that there's
Mhm.
the group that's come together on the first vote, the Jack, Monty, Andrew, and Sam, who was the captain. And then Molly was left out of that vote.
Yeah,
And you perceive her to be with the majority of this later vote. I
that's how
guess
I see it. I
excluding Sam because
correct.
Sam was left out of this past vote.
That's how I kind of see the lines, but I've been wrong before. It's a tough because I don't know if those are the definitive lines and if that's going to move forward or if this was just like a one-time thing. I think it's smart for those four to come together. So that would be like the strategic move that I would try to make, especially if those four, if it's 2 and 2 and then one of them just flips, that one person in the middle could become a part of a three, and if they're better at the challenges, then they could be sitting pretty to make it to the end.
Yeah. And, Ascendance format is now, most of the time final three.
Oh, is it?
The
Have
past
I
two
watched?
seasons,
I've been watching. I forget. So
yeah,
like,
we
okay,
have the
then
uh
two
the
two,
final
bring in one. You have the final three. Done, done and done.
yeah,
Even
because
better
as
for Maddie to flip onto it then.
it'll be interesting. Yeah, I this was definitely the best episode of the season for me.
Mhm.
An actual blind side where they did not see it coming, and
Yeah.
then another pretty interesting vote where there was a decision to be made of two players that I thought um, were pretty good players. So
Yeah, and we also saw a lot of shocked reactions from the people that were about to vote too. So
yeah,
I think that these were two very separate conversations that were being had in the strategy portion because a lot of the other side were surprised. So I think that the four that we keep alluding to did a good job of keeping that hushed.
yeah. Um, so we kind of
Well,
see,
Monty told Lee, I don't know.
yeah,
Lee might have
yeah.
not been surprised, but other people looked pretty surprised. So that's the
Um,
one little wrinkle in all the things that we just talked about.
Um, we kind of mentioned, the broad strokes of where we're thinking, lines are being drawn, where we think people are kind of aligning and who's working with who. But, you know, we have two members of the jury at this point. We know that it's a final three. That's how Ascendance has been working the past two times. Whether you've been watching or not, Scott,
I
that is
watched,
how.
I just forget.
So we're gonna see at least probably six more people eliminated here.
Mm.
Um, who's in the best spot?
Well, obviously Reynolds. We heard Alex tell everyone.
But does that make him in the worst spot now?
I don't think that that's going to be that impactful. Like, if Alex had more agency, would he have gotten voted off? I'm not sure, but
I don't
I
know.
might just stick with the Reynolds Antoinette being in a good spot. I just think we saw the three of them win, Antoinette Reynolds and Lee win and really come together. And I just feel like, I mean, if there's a final three and those three make it there, I just feel like Lee is going to be the one that gets targeted out of that trio.
Yeah. Why do you say that?
So he's just the biggest character of the three. I just feel like a big character often is looked at as the biggest threat.
But is he the biggest character to the people that are playing the game at this point? He's the biggest character, obviously, to us because of what he's doing. Also, Sam, did you catch that? Sam was trying to he thought in the second vote that Maddie was the person that kept throwing votes onto him early in the game.
Who did he say that to, Lee?
Yeah, he was telling Lee that.
Oh my gosh. And I know I definitely missed that.
I was like, damn man, you were telling the wrong person this
He
shit,
was just
man.
like, it might have been. That's definitely an option. That's true. Lee is kind of behind the scenes as a big character, so maybe not in the house. But I think those three are sitting in the best position. Lee, Reynolds, Antoinette.
No.
I just think they've had the most agency, and at this point, they're so close to having the majority.
Yeah.
The few things that they have to get past is that those two have pendants, because none of them have any powers at this point of those three. And I still think that they have Molly and Maddie working with them. So yeah, I think that those three are kind of sitting in the best spot. Because if they do go to the final five, those three could potentially be the three that just stick together to the end.
Yeah. Um, there's two half pendants out there, Scott. Andrew knows where both of them are. Sam knows
Mhm.
that he has one around his neck currently. Um, do you think it's gonna happen?
I think, yeah, I don't see Andrew as someone that
Andrew's been
would,
quiet. Andrew's been quiet.
but I don't see him as someone that's gonna go home without a fight.
Oh
He's
yeah.
mischievous as well. I think him and Lee are both kind of both like I don't want to say Disney villain, but like that kind of energy. You know, it's they're not like that bad. It's not like the crazy serial killer movie bad guy. Like they're just like mischievous in this game. And so I think that if Andrew suspects that there's any danger for him or maybe a Monty, I think he goes to Sam and just says, I have it. We have to play this on myself. We have to play this on Monty. Maybe he plays it on Sam. I think Andrew is going to be really strategic and smart about when he goes to Sam with that information. And whenever he goes to Sam, he's going to go to him when he knows that Sam has to say yes. And so I think we are going to see it get played. I just don't know when. And I think that it'll be Andrew going to Sam and finally being like, "All right, we got to do this." And Sam, I think, will agree because Sam wants to make a move. You know, Sam's a gamer.
Sam's Sam's been trying to make a move for a while here.
Yeah, he's chomping at the bit. And once Andrew says, "Hey, I have the other," he's like, "Let's do it. Let's play it." He's not even gonna let him finish the sentence.
Yeah. Yeah. Sam's had some tough breaks in this game. You mentioned the team picking right after, just kind of the want music. Sam has had a lot. Um, well, shit, Scott. That's all I can think of about this episode. Is there anything that maybe we haven't covered up to this point?
I don't know. I wish they gave us like a little preview of next week.
Yeah.
This is the one that I was like most excited to be like, there's gonna be some fallout. Just
Oh yeah.
because
Multiple
two
people
different things
being left out
happen.
of votes.
What is it?
Multiple people getting left out of votes.
Hmm.
A couple people didn't think Derek was going home.
And also just it's like whenever you're watching Big Brother and they redo the you like watch the live eviction happen and then they have to like go back and talk about it. An eviction happened and people were not in conversations. They were worried about theirs, so we're gonna see like what the fuck happened? Like So I think that it'll be interesting to see the fallout again of this. We might have a the come down for Molly this time. Not the come down
Yeah.
from Molly, it's the come down for Molly because she's gonna be like, what?
Couple wild rounds for Molly. Huh?
Yeah. Yeah. A roller coaster.
She's got to lock in.
She is, I mean, typically Molly is the trip, but she's just on a trip.
Yeah. It'll be interesting in episode 10 to see what happens. But before we close out, Scott, I am going to announce that the Halloween candy draft has happened. The
Oh.
teams are set, and that video is being edited and will be uploaded later this week. And I can confirm, Scott, those butterscotch candies from your grandfather, they did not get drafted.
Mhm. I mean, they also, as we looked up, did get discontinued in the late 90s. So did Werther's Originals make it? I feel like that's like the child of the taste stations.
They did
I'm
not
gonna
make
guess.
it.
Yeah, as I'm saying, I'm gonna guess they didn't make it either.
It's so funny that you brought the butterscotch candies up, but they were discontinued in the 90s. I'm just curious where you're getting them from.
Oh, I haven't had them since my grandmother gave them to me. But it's just such a nostalgic memory of my childhood, and I thought that others could share it, and apparently I am wrong in that assumption. But you
You
know what
got
they say
ro you
about
got you
assuming.
got you got roasted in the Discord for that take. Let's
Did
be real.
I?
You did.
I don't think so.
I don't know. It wasn't too bad.
I wouldn't have that. Roasting me.
You had some fans. You had some fans that were all about it. But no, that video will be up and the poll will be on the Instagram. So go ahead and vote for your favorite team. I'm excited to
Okay.
see. I'm excited to see how this one pans out. I think there's two or three really close teams.
Okay. And if you follow Bryce and Wen, they posted so many photos of me from the event last week. So give them a follow and like those as well.
Give them a follow, like those as well. Follow Scott on Instagram.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
pretty, they tagged him probably.
I reposted them, so it's on my story.
So it's on the story. So,
Mm.
well, that's about it, Scott. Thank you again so much for coming on for the weekly recap of Ascendance, and um, I can't wait for next week.
Me too. Ready for the fallout.
Yes.